So here's a lie that requires me to play what is termed a Texas wedge shot. The ball has rolled up against the apron of the first cut. It's come across the apron itself, and now it's situated tight against this grass, and really is a very difficult lie for me to play to such a short flag position with control, allowing me to either hold the shot possibly, but worst of all get down perhaps in two and improve my score. The Texas wedge shot isn't quite as it seems. Many people think of a Texas wedge as their putter, but that isn't true. What really in effect a Texas wedge shot is actually using the sand iron or a wedge to blade the ball. In other words, I'm trying to make contact with the center of the ball with the leading edge of my sand iron so that the ball rolls forward immediately. There's no loft, no lift. It's immediate roll off the leading edge of the club. So it's an intentional top, but not hitting the very top of the ball, connecting with the center of the ball, rolling it immediately forward. Now the shot would be pretty logical if I show you that that leading edge is going to travel along the top of that first cut of grass and make contact with the middle of the ball. So the logic behind it's fairly straightforward, and it's a simple shot to execute once you have the confidence and understanding of how to play it. Again, I'd refer to this shot as nearer to a putt than it is to a pitch or a chip. So if you can think that image straight away, you're on track to play a successful Texas wedge shot. When we set up to the ball, we're really going to set up with that ball somewhere just either center of stance or a little forward of it. More or less where we would play the ball position for a putt. Remember, as we want to play it like a putt, we're trying to get that club to travel fairly parallel to the ground. And consequently, the ball position should be just forward of the sternum. You can set up with your normal putting stance if you wish, or you could have a slightly narrower stance or even a little bit open. Really the preference is down to you. But what we want to try to do is keep our shoulders and upper body in particular relatively parallel to the ball to target line. We don't want to open the stance. We don't want to create unnecessary angles in the swing action. In this instance, as I come to stand to the ball, you can see my head is very much over the ball, almost like a putt. My eyes are over the line of the shot, much nearer to the line it would be on a chip or a pitch. I stand with the club shaft relatively vertical. I'm not here and away from it. I don't want to engage any hand action or wrist set at all. So if I stand close to it and above it and just let the club settle on the top of that grass, then I'm really in the correct setup position. The backswing itself is just simply a fairly firm wristed action. Now you either have to keep control of your hands and wrists, or we can adapt our grip. We can actually use our putting grip. If you look at my grip here, I'm actually using the standard reverse overlap grip. This is the grip that I would use for putting. I've also, in this case, moved the club into the palm of my hands. We talked a little about this in one of the earlier parts of the lesson, how that would quieten the hands and wrists down. So as I stand to it, I can put the club behind the ball, but adopt my putting address position. And all I'm doing now is rocking my shoulders relatively straight forward, backwards and forwards, and as you see the club is travelling on a much more straight line than it would for a chip or a pitch where it would come inside. So I'm keeping it relatively on line, parallel to the middle of the ball. It's as simple as it is. As long as we trust that this leading edge is going to cut through any grass that's in the way and roll that ball forward, then we're really going to execute this shot fairly simply and fairly effectively. So I'm going to play this shot now and just demonstrate to you how simple it is.